So, what are we doing? We're looking at some Outlast stuff that you've written.
Yeah, we're critiquing and fixing up the first third of my Outlast fanfic.
We got some of the way down in our last call, which we didn't record. We got this far down.
Yeah, we got a little bit through chapter 1. A little bit over halfway through, I'd say.
Yeah, because it was very long.
My monster chapters. I'm gonna change that. I'm not gonna be that type of writer. It's not good for my mental health.
Give yourself some breaks. Give your reader some breaks.
Yeah.
And we were...
we didn't describe what this call is supposed to be, or what this video is supposed to be.
No.
Should we do that?
We should, yeah. Do you want to?
Sure. So, Dib and I have been doing this thing for a little while where we get on a Discord call and we physically go over things that I'm struggling with. I think it started out with poetry.
Yeah, I think so.
And yeah, it's a lot easier to hash things out over a call than it is over text sometimes because we can really dig into it. It's kind of like we're in the same room. So I was thinking these calls are super informative. I'm a very lucky writer. These calls are really, really helpful and they're very in-depth. We usually at this point talk for about 2 hours at a time. Yep. And I thought if either of us were struggling for a video at some point, it wouldn't hurt to record one of these because I think other writers can honestly get a lot out of it. Seeing how Dib deconstructs my work, seeing how a second pair of eyes can affect a piece of work. At this point, at least a third of my pieces of writing are Dib because of just how much he puts into it. So I just thought it would be really helpful for some writers to listen to these calls. So that's basically what we're doing. We're just going to have the call as normal, and Dib will edit it into something that people can watch.
So, do you have anything particular about this first section?
I feel like we should go over what we did last call and also talk about the continuous things that we've noticed, things like vibes and setting.
Okie doke. So, the first thing was the vibes, fittingly enough.
The vibes. Yes, where we pointed out that the way I describe the setting and also characters specifically is very neutral. Where I can, like, they're fine, but I can add in vibes, TM, and it gives the characters a lot more character.
Yeah, and it helps build atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. And same for the setting as well. Like, I don't know if you have that part on screen right now, but how you compared the atrium that Miles gets thrown through, spoilers, into, you compared it to, like, a cloister to foreshadow the arrival of the priest, Father Martin, which I thought was genius.
Yes, let me find that. So many words.
With his own instruction, he managed to crawl along the ground to explore the upper floor. It was a cloister of glass walls overlooking the first floor below in a large atrium, letting the sunlight expose the grime in the lobby's carpet. He circled around for a moment, looking for any guide signs. Something grabbed him by the back of the neck.
That helps build a semantic field for the specific character that's going to turn up. We did talk about these first lines up at the top about the building. I don't know if you've got around to...
Oh, we sure did. I forgot about that. I don't think it had a comment attached to it, did it?
Not attached to it specifically. You did reply to yourself on the word chapter.
Oops. What did I say? Do you mind reminding me what exactly that was? Was it just more vibes?
Pretty much. I think...
Let's see what comment you put. Nice. Okay, yeah, I did forget about that.
Yeah, did we decide that we're keeping it to be pretty much noon time?
We talked about the pros and cons. I think it was something similar to the line that you put, the sunlight exposing the grime on the carpet. it was,
Yeah.
I think it was, like, we decided to go with noon because of story reasons, where, in this fanfic, he is,
He's arriving earlier.
coming in. Yeah, he's arriving earlier than he did in the canon. So it makes sense that, but then also we can do things like the sunlight exposing what's going on.
Yeah, because noon can be just as spooky if you do it well.
Yeah, so I think we can go along with that, make that work.
Mm-hmm. The only thing we need to bear in mind is mentions of long shadows, because that doesn't often happen.
Right, you're right.
Day, but that's nitpicky.
I don't mind you being nitpicky. You should know this by now. I want things to make sense when I'm too stupid to put things together.
Okay.
I found myself a science side of Tumblr, and I'm not letting him go.
I'm just like, well, there's such a thing as a rain shadow.
Yeah, I was so glad that you pointed that out, because I was just like, I was trying to make things make sense, but I don't understand any of it. So,
where be the desert?
Where be the desert? It's here. Why not?
Yeah. It's a combination of rain shadows and then latitude, I think.
Latitude. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyway, we were. Did I show you?
Yeah. Which thing? You showed me a lot of things.
Yeah, I just found this one that I thought was funny, and I don't remember if I actually showed you, because I feel like if I did, you would comment on it. Because I used a specific word.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I did. It was just a long section, so you didn't comment on the use of the word cockblock.
I remember that.
Anyway, okay, that's not important. So we were down to when he's meeting the priest.
Yeah. I put a little comment there.
Yeah.
Just to mark it.
And it should be mentioned that right now we're in the editing stage, which is I personally edit as I go. So this is, generally we don't do too in-depth line edits. We do things, line edits like, vibes and stuff like that. But in general, we're doing more broad stuff, as Dib likes to drill into me. Always start with the broad.
Yeah.
Because I get hung up on details. Yeah,
because if you start with details and then you go, oh, actually, I need to reorganize something really broadly, all those details are gone.
Yeah, exactly.
So, painting as well.
If there's like a sentence that sounds a little weird, or dialogue that doesn't quite make sense, it's not a big deal. We're just focusing on the broad stuff for now. Yeah.
And generally, if it's more line edity, it's more concepts that can be applied, even if you have to rewrite the entire thing.
Mm-hmm, right. It's like continuous stuff that I'm continuously needing to improve on.
Yes. The electric room.
Yeah, we're down to the part where Miles needs to turn the electricity back on, which this is definitely something I want to take a close look at, because this is part of what I was telling you. I feel like I really suck at suspense, and I would love a second opinion on it.
What sort of suspense are you talking?
So, I don't know. Suspense, no. Well, with this one, you should fear for Miles' life, right? Mm-hmm. So, or fear for him getting the shit kicked out of him. So I feel like it should keep you on the edge of your seat a little bit, and I don't know if it does that. But at the same time, I'm the writer. I know Miles doesn't die here, so it could also just be that. I don't know.
Okay, so first thing that's jumping out at me is the phrasing of electric room. I'm not sure if that's a technical term. It might be a generator room, or a maintenance room or something.
Yeah.
I think
the electric room.
Rewording this whole sentence might be a good idea, just to kind of convey more intent with it. Like, he needed to look for some way to turn on the lights, so he's looking for any clue that there may be some way of doing it nearby. Like maybe he's following some wires he's spotted in the ceiling and hoping they go in the right direction, or maybe there's signs somewhere, like warning signs.
You're really good with vibes. That's really clever. This also goes back to what we were talking about last time. Intent. Doing everything very intentionally, and also keeping the objective clear to the reader at all times.
Yeah, because if you don't kind of drill it home, there's very much a risk that it just feels like you're wandering around, not doing much of anything, which isn't great.
Right. That can feel very messy and kind of uncomfortable, I feel like.
Yes. So yeah, kind of maybe getting some reason for why he's going in the direction that he is. I'll just kind of go. Oh, that's all in capitals. Whoops. I'm just going to keep on going in capitals. If I'm going to just make sure you're still here.
I'm still here. Hi.
Good. Because the noise dampening tech just makes it go dead quiet, and I'm like,
Yeah, especially because Discord drops me out all the time, so.
Yes. Okay.
I love the all caps. You're just yelling at me.
That was an accident. I noticed when I finished the first sentence. This sentence, I feel like there could be more personality.
Yeah, that's true.
Feels very mild, but also I feel like it could be phrased kind of more of a conscious decision, or even a subconscious one.
I definitely agree that this is part of, like, I have a habit of stating things very neutrally when, like you said, there could be more personality.
Yeah, because for some characters that does work, being neutral, because they are just very collected or whatever, but for a character like him, he's got a lot of opinions about everything.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So having him not have much of an opinion, one way or the other, it doesn't make much sense.
Yeah.
I mean, the repetition of not being a certain type is fun, but I'm not sure it'd be the right phrasing for him. One thing you can do with this sort of moment, you've kind of done it further down, is breaking it into smaller paragraphs. I think I'm not sure. Having the reaction here, I'm not sure about, because often you do have the reaction before you see what the cause is, but I think having it just at the end of a long paragraph that's otherwise unrelated is maybe not the most suspenseful way of doing it.
Okay.
Another thing with the suspense thing is maintaining stakes and kind of establishing that, you know, the pain he's in isn't like a temporary, oh no, I'm down 1 HP, you know?
Yeah, that's
like,
fair.
He doesn't want to get hurt. He doesn't want to lose limbs. He doesn't want to get, you know, bruised, because even bruises can properly hurt. That can be something that you kind of got going through, either saying, kind of establishing that he actually has a lot of kind of mental and emotional stakes in the fact that he doesn't want to get hurt, but also that the physical things that he experiences are constant, and they are a constant thing he has to deal with.
And it's kind of like he's only got so much he can take. It's not like he can just reverse some of it to take on more.
Exactly. That's quite funny. This paragraph, this sort of helps with establishing his physical stakes, but doing it more viscerally and continuously in other sections would help, I think. It doesn't matter that it's not very visceral in this part because it's more humorous. Kind of like him just standing there matter-of-factly going, I've got this, I don't need this as well.
Right.
This isn't like a gruesome kind of sentiment, but other times you will want to kind of up kind of the viscerality of it.
I'm wrong. I feel like the viscerality of it should mostly, like, I should up that when the stakes are, like, closer, if that makes sense. Like, during a chase scene, during a stealth scene. Like,
more imminent.
Yeah, more imminent, exactly.
Yeah, although if there are, like, beats where he's going, oh, hell, I've got, a cut or something that's really kind of playing up with a certain movement. Yeah. He's very polite, is Miles.
Oh, yes, Miles is very polite.
And I think also, what I was saying about kind of almost picturing yourself in that scenario and the weird little clumsy things and details that happen of, like, knocking elbows against tight spaces or whatever. Certain movements will kind of pull on certain injuries in certain places. And I think a good way of kind of not having to completely draw attention away from the scenario, but still maintaining people's kind of the presence of the injuries is when people do extreme movements, that their injuries, muscles, aching, whatever, kind of plays up.
I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but something that comes to mind as like a more immersive type detail is after the sewers, when he has to like wade through all that water and shit, he could like start chafing on his thighs.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Anyway, you were saying something.
What about the basement is suggesting that's where you're going to find the electric room?
Good point. That's probably what I meant. Instead of just the sign for the basement, I meant the sign for the quote-unquote electric room.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sure do just go straight to the basement. Like, I know where I'm going.
He goes, wow, there's a basement in this direction? Sounds about right.
Sounds not creepy and fun.
Yeah. Also, the fact there's no, locked door in the way. There's health and safety in this asylum. Very poor.
To be fair, there's already a patient in there, so maybe I can add in a detail about, like, a busted-down door.
And that's a good one. And then also you can have on the door warning signs for electricity and all that.
Yeah. Let me see. Yeah, like, for example, from what I was saying earlier, this sentence is kind of awkwardly worded, but it's not, like, it doesn't have anything to do with the vibes, doesn't have anything to do with a continuous problem. It's just a weird sentence, so that's something I can fix later.
Yeah. Yeah, you can always move the document to another point.
Yeah.
Because it is a nice one. Plus, if it's half in water, all the ink's going to be going everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, this should probably be moved. The thing is, I feel like there's so many documents, and I've cut down as much as I could, but I like the idea that you had of taking some of the documents and translating it into Wayland dialogue, because otherwise there's just too many. It ruins the pacing.
Yeah, it's a bit of a big problem.
Yeah. And I desperately want to use them because I think I want to use them somehow, because I feel like it wouldn't really be Outlast without some of them. But it's definitely something I need to, if I'm dead set on using them, I need to use them well.
A lot of, like, reports and stuff could just be, like, anecdotes from Wayland.
Stuff he's heard in the cafeteria and shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I heard one time they made a lady who doesn't like guns use a gun. And he goes, whoa,
Whoa! Yeah.
that's weird.
That's wacky.
That's a bit goofy.
Anyway.
And Marks is like, that's weird, and then just kind of puts it away.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh no! Anyway. No. He wouldn't do that. Okay, other than the placement, anything with the Miss Pierce section?
I remember quite liking it.
Okay.
Let's have a double check.
Comment. Oh, I see. I had my phone put away. I see your comment now. I guess he did just put it away. He put it away for future reference.
He goes, in case I need to read anything messed up again, I'll have this in my pocket.
No, he grimaced. There was a sour taste in his mouth. He's got a job to do.
Oh dear.
She did that. She did another thing. Yeah, okay. That's fair.
Yeah, there's not much like reaction. Like the stuff that she's doing are reactions to the fact that Miss Jackson isn't waking up, but like we don't know that. We're just going,
right.
She's shaking her, and then she snaps in her, and then just kind of goes, okay then, violence, and then just
violence. Yeah.
I like how she goes for smacking her before flicking her forehead.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's not really a correct escalation.
Especially since you put the smacked in capital letters. Like, come on. Firing the gun directly into someone's face implies that this person is going to be dead.
Right, I forgot to add in the detail that the gun is filled with blanks.
I think there's still quite a lot of force in a blank.
Then it's not loaded at all. I don't remember what it was. I'll have to look at the actual document.
Okie doke.
Okay, here's the part I was talking about earlier, the suspense of it. I don't know.
First of all, he's an idiot for splashing his immediate first action in this place. He goes, you know what? I'm going to jump over this with no care.
I did literally use the term splash landed.
You did.
What is wrong with me? I'd probably been writing this chapter for like 4 hours or something, and I was like, let's just fucking finish it.
Your choice of verbs is always thrilling to read.
He hupped.
Yep. He hops, he splash lands.
He flips, he slips. He oofed. I don't know what's wrong with me, don't ask. You chose this.
I think it's kind of darkness, dark times. There's much, you can't see anything. That's suspenseful. I'm putting it in capitals so that you don't use these words.
Okay, that's fair.
I'm just conveying the fact that you should add something in this space.
Yeah, don't just click accept and move on.
Yeah. And then maybe reconsider
the splash landing.
I think it's fine for him to make a splash because realistically that's going to happen. But like a token effort to make not much noise would be nice.
Yeah.
Especially since the door's busted down.
Yeah, that's true. Especially because we're adding in that detail. It's the wording that needs help.
Yeah. Turn off caps lock. Cop black. Interesting phrase.
That's what happened.
It's what happened, but it's not vibey, is it?
Is it not vibey? Is it not like Miles to say, yeah, my thighs and ass got wet?
I mean, yeah, but you can say, like, the water's soaking into his clothing or whatever. Kind of.
That's not very blunt.
Keep it if you want. At least convey that the water's cold or something.
Okay,
Make
we
it an
can do
unpleasant experience.
Yeah, valid.
And the fact that he's kind of too distracted for it to really matter enough for him to get out.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I could crouch down and get absolutely soaked, or I could stand up and be seen by the demon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay, so you said, like... Oh, you got it? Okay.
I'm just gonna do make some thoughts.
Can you mention the cold and unpleasant?
Cold and
because otherwise I won't remember what the fuck you were talking about.
That's not a phrase, but we'll just leave it. Okay. Do we need to know where all the doors are? Is this necessary detail?
And here's my reasoning, because I thought that in order to not get completely lost when shit hits the fan, I figured you would need to have a general layout of what things look like. Do you disagree, or is it just too much detail?
I mean, how soon are we going to need to use this information?
I don't know. How much did I ramble before shit hit the fan?
I mean, where does he go after this?
He goes to one of those rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he goes to the one on the right.
And then
after that, he goes... Well, he hides in a locker first, and then he goes to the main room, and then he goes to the next door, and then he goes to the one on the left. So he goes right to left.
Okay. So when you're saying that the generator's sitting in the middle of the main room, that's the one he's just walked into?
Yeah.
So what's his reasoning for going to the places that he does?
I guess you should probably take a second to look at the generator, huh?
Yeah. And then why does he go into the first room?
So he has to flip on the something I don't remember the name of, and then the main breaker, and then he can restart the generator.
Okay,
Question.
And how does he know that?
Right, I was going to say he should probably look at the generator first, because that's where it lists what you need to turn on. I have a question, though.
Yeah.
As someone who hasn't and probably will never play the games, is it kind of like how we, in the game, Mile goes to the security room twice. We cut out that first one and had the powers off just when he woke up to save, time and shit. Yeah. Does he need to turn on the main breaker and everything, or can the suspense just be flipping on the generator? Or, I like the idea of him hiding in the locker. Could it just be that he needs to flip on the main breaker and then he can do the generator? Can we cut out those other two rooms?
Yeah, I think we probably can. I think have there be a main breaker that's really maybe in one of the maintenance rooms, because that's generally where you want it to be a safe distance or whatever.
Yeah,
I would imagine. Especially if there's going to be water in there.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I think it is such a strength having someone read this that hasn't played the games, because you can really point that stuff out. Because I didn't even, until I pictured you saying it, I didn't even think about it. I was just like, yeah, that's what he does.
Yeah, this is the thing that happens.
Yeah.
Why would I question that? Yeah, it's a lot of back and forth. Yeah, just have it so that there's like one breaker, but like often they have kind of plastic or coloured lines leading to where it is, and then up the wall to it.
Okay.
Having something that will easily lead him towards it and kind of signify this is what will turn the thing on, and then he goes to it, and then the guy turns up and he's like, "Oop, locker time."
Yeah, locker time. Could you read that little section for me of him hiding in the locker and let me know what you think about it?
What's a 2x4?
It's like a plank of wood.
Can't you
2
just say
feet by
plank
4.
of wood?
Most people know what a 2x4 is. I could just say a plank of wood, sure,
I mean,
but
maybe in
it's
America. Let me look this up.
okay. It's a 2 feet by 4 feet, 2x4, or 2 inches. No, not 2 inches. That's dumb. 2 feet by 4 feet.
It is inches. I think it would be a bit much if it was feet.
I can't gauge distance. I thought it would be too tiny if it was inches.
Well, inches are quite big.
I guess so, yeah.
You compare that to a centimetre, it's like 2.5 centimetres in 1 inch.
Now that I look at it, though, like doing the thumb thing, were you ever taught the thumb thing where, like, when you bend your thumb, that first part of it is an inch?
No, because we don't tend to use inches.
Yeah, duh. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm like stacking my thumbs and to make 4 inches. That's kind of tiny. I don't think that the thing in the game is actually 2x4 now that I think about it.
Yeah, I think that's a very specific term for something that it probably isn't.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just say a plank of wood.
Oh dear. Having such a good time.
I'm sorry.
You know, over here it's meant to be centimetres and all that, but like all the signs are still in miles an hour. So you're just there like, we don't use inches, we don't use feet except in people's height. The way we measure weight for people is not the way we measure weight for everything else, and it's not the way that you do, I don't think, either.
That's weird.
Miles an hour, miles distance. And then, you know, in school you're only taught in metric, because that's sensible.
Yeah.
It's so thrilling. It's just a fun system. Like, we're nominally using metric, but like half of everything I just can't be bothered. It's meant to be that since the 70s. That's nice.
Thank you.
Thumbs up. Or thumb up.
Thumb up.
We'll leave that, whatever. 2 more what?
That can be cut out because just 2 more rooms, but...
Okay, good. So that's a little interlude, and then we're cutting a lot of the rest of this.
Yeah. That's good. The chapter's gonna be shorter.
Yeah. He's getting...
There was another part right here where... Another suspense part where, Miles is hiding in the water and he's in the darkness, and the patient is, like, getting really close and, like, could potentially bump into him. Is that something that we should translate into a different scene later on, or is that something that we should keep here? I highlighted it.
It's in the dark, so it's got to be before the generator's turned on.
Right, I'd have to move it, but if we kept it, then...
I think it's worth
at
keeping,
the same time...
It's very suspenseful.
Okay.
So, where are we getting back into it after this kind of section?
Last room. Oh, so what I have it as is he his stealthing for a while, but then towards the end here, he catches Miles and chases him. Maybe we could, if we want to keep that, we can have it where in the main breaker room, Miles is hiding in the locker, and then maybe the man finds him.
That would be fun, because that's generally not meant to happen in the game, so that's breaking the rules.
Right, yeah. It happens sometimes, but it's pretty rare. It's usually if they see you go in the locker, then they'll come and yank you out. But on harder difficulties, they're supposed to check the lockers more
I
often
remember
and
you
under the
saying
beds
this
and
to me, and
stuff.
they're like, what?
Yeah, because they don't really. It's really disappointing. I was like really freaked out when I first played Nightmare Mode.
Yeah.
What do we feel about this paragraph?
That's good for, like, his mindset towards them.
His little arc.
Yeah.
I say little, but let's be real, it's quite a big arc to shirk ableism.
Yeah. And I like that he didn't do anything to this man. Just like this is a reasonable place.
Yeah.
Like, anything about the situation is reasonable.
Yeah.
It's like, I didn't hurt you. It's like, did anyone hurt anyone?
Yeah, not really. Well, Markov hurt. Anyway, not going to get into that rant.
I think a lot of this is going to be, a lot of the little physical beats are going to be slightly rewritten if you're going back through and changing this scene. Which is why we don't do the line edits yet.
Sorry.
And that's just because, when you've got entire sections like that, it's a bit of a moot point.
Yeah.
I agree with Past Me's point.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I was just trying to make sure people knew it was anger he was feeling and not something else, but if you think it comes across, then it comes across.
I mean, it comes across with the following sentence.
Right, yeah.
Because, he's calling them names. It's not exactly something you do when you're scared or whatever. Or that's not the primary emotion associated with that.
Right, the primary emotion. Because he is scared, it just, everything he feels comes out in anger.
Yeah, there's a filter going on there.
Yeah.
I don't know if this undermines his starting position in this arc.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. I don't know why I put that in there.
Yeah.
Maybe I just didn't want him to be unsympathetic, but there are ways to make him sympathetic while also, like you said, not undermining his arc.
Okay. I used some strong language there, but,
He's a prick, let him be one.
Yeah. I don't feel like you need to kneecap this stuff.
Yeah, that's valid. I think I probably got defensive. I was like, no, I love Miles.
Yeah, I get that a lot. I'm like, no, I don't want, Obi-Wan to be too cold towards the people around him, but, like, he can be, so...
Yeah.
You just need to kind of grit your teeth and write it.
They'll find their way.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I first started writing Super Kids, I knew I wanted Virgil to have a redemption arc, but I was very hesitant to do the downward spiral of that redemption arc. Yeah, the evil part. And I think I got through that pretty well. I think he's kind of a shitty person for a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, you go, hang on, what the hell? Virgil? Excuse me.
Yeah, but I think I think I did the balance pretty well where he's still sympathetic, you know what's going on, you just want him to make the right decisions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think you do manage it.
Thank you. Anyway. This isn't about Virgil, this is Miles Upshur. Known asshole.
I like
how
we...
here... Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, I feel like here it's going, like, beat by beat, and there's no real transition, there's no real, like... It doesn't feel like what's happening is mattering too much.
Yeah, that's one issue, definitely. And then, also, he's just kind of gone, I hate these guys suck. Excuse me, could I have an interview, please?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm trying to balance that because I want him to be a good reporter. I want him to know what he's doing, and I do want his goal to be, like you said, to help the victims hear whoever they are, and to do that he does need to talk to the patients.
Maybe he's got a reasoning in his head that this one doesn't look like he's particularly motivated or able to kill him.
Yeah,
poor Hacker, this guy does look like a victim after all. And then he kind of gets quite patronising.
Yeah, that can happen. So comment. He has a reason to believe this one won't hurt him. And this one actually looks like a victim. Hello, fly. Okay. Another thing that I'm struggling with is patient dialogue, because I want Miles to talk to the patients because I think that's really interesting. I think it adds a little bit of insight from the game, but I don't know how to go about it other than just adding in the dialogue that the patients have in the game, which is part of what I think makes this look like a or that's part of what I think makes these beats feel kind of inconsequential, is that Miles says something, the patient says something, Miles like, okay, bye.
Yeah, because in the game, Miles, or like the player's purpose is always very clear, because you're being led through somewhere intentionally. But when it's Miles as a character with his own motivations, it's different. And then the characters' dialogue in the game, they're like atmospheric, they're decoration more than anything. They aren't the most story driven,
Right.
because that's not the point of this section of the game. So
And
I was thinking this might be another place to put the documents in dialogue. Maybe they could allude to some of the notes, some of the documents, like, oh, they gave me a gun, I hate guns, you know?
Oh my god, that is so genius and obvious at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here.
Like,
can you please
get this gun out of my hand? And
me?
Miles is like, there is no gun in your hand. And it's like, yeah, there is. They put it there.
Oh my god, I love that. Oh my god.
You know, that kind of thing.
That's perfect. That solves two problems at once.
Yeah. You just gotta puzzle piece this together.
Yeah. Do you mind commenting that for me?
Okay.
If you could see, like, the body language I did when... Can't wait to save up for a camcorder.
I'm just put little bits of dialogue just to get the vibes across. That sort of thing. I don't know if that'll help remind you.
Yeah, definitely will.
This is an interesting sentence. Feels...
The game.
It feels too neutral, like it's slightly judgmental, but like not Miles judgmental.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he'd go, oh, I think Murkoff might have physically scooped their brains out, you know?
That's true. You're right about that. That I might use that exact sentence. I love it when I put a character's vibes out there and you just get it immediately.
You need characters with strong vibes, you know, and sometimes you can just hone in.
Yeah.
If I don't have the vibes in my head of a character, I just end up driving them to a neutral point, and it's no good for anyone.
Right.
I need to go, listen, either this person's a jerk, or this person's just oblivious, has a single brain cell, or this person is just blatantly and unapologetically evil, because otherwise I want this to be someone I'd like as a person.
Yeah.
And you know, that's not the broadest spectrum for your character.
Yeah. Also, take a shot every time we say vibes.
Yeah. Good luck.
Good luck, don't die.
The Return of the Priest, icon.
Yeah. Icon. No!
His name's a very good one for a priest, if I remember.
Martin Archambaud.
That's such a great surname for a priest.
Yeah.
I love the priest, he's great. See, the priest's apologising because he's so nice.
He's a polite fellow, that's for sure.
He's got an amazing amount of concern for those around him. He's a true steward of the earth. He's a shepherd to his flock. He's a big fan of witnessing as well.
He sure is.
Gross, clammy hands. Miles is there like, bro, could you please have some hand hygiene? Like,
I
that's
know
the
that
least
there
of
are
your
dead
issues.
bodies everywhere, but
Hey, bro, you're kind of sweaty. Like, that's a bit gross. Can you please move? What's that? It's probably a real word, but like I don't know what it means.
yeah, it's a triquetra. It's the symbol that it's this guy. Yeah, look at it. I had to do some serious Google digging to figure out what the fuck that symbol was called, because it's in the game and it's important because it's the symbol of Project Wallrider. But I was like,
It's that.
what the fuck is this?
It's the like Celtic knot type thing. That's fun.
I feel like this is a little neutral as well.
Yeah, it's not very. Yeah.
Interesting.
No, I think this whole stuff could be slightly made more. Give it some more oomph, please.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like I was just to that point in the chapter where it's like, I'm almost done.
Yeah, you're just kind of like, oh, finally, just limping over the finish line.
Yeah. Yeah, these long chapters are not good for my mental health or for my writing.
No. Okay. The Wall Rider, quote marks.
Quote marks.
Tore them into puddles. I think you're tapping into an idea that's pretty spooky, but like you haven't properly got. It's like an idea of, when someone's destroyed, they stop being a person and they start being an object that has been mutilated,
Yeah.
Like, I've forgotten the word. Is it the abject?
Depersonification? Personification?
It's a spooky abject.
I have to assume you're not looking for the word dehumanization.
No.
Okay.
So the abject, and that's object with an A, is a reaction of horror to the breakdown between like self and other. There are theories that that's why children can get freaked out at their first haircut, because they're watching something that's part of themselves suddenly become not part of their self. And it freaks them out.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So these people are being turned into like a puddle or like just objects, just piece of just dead. They're not people anymore,
Yeah, I can definitely try to do something with that. I like it, yeah.
Maybe, again, this is the thing that I brought up that one time, where the reader's in a much better state of mind than your character, and so you're putting in all the dialogue, even though parts of it your character's not registering. So you, the reader, and the character are all on different levels of information. So like cutting bits off.
Okay.
If the character's not registering it, makes the reader be in a similar boat, as it were.
I hate to do that because I don't want to lose any of the dialogue, but it would be better if I did do that.
The people
so I will
reading
do
it
it
know
anyway.
the dialogue. They've played the game.
Yeah, but I also like it when I can write a fan fiction that you don't need to.
Well,
it's just fun.
If Miles isn't gonna hear it, and if it's going all funky in the audio tracks, and the only way you can get that line is through the subtitles, it's pretty much in that state anyway. I think that's the end of chapter 1.
Yeah, we finally did that.
Yay! Oh my god, there's so much more.
Yeah, we're gonna be at this for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, let me do some word count checks. 18k. 4k
Do we want to
down.
do a little bit of chapter 2? Clearly not the whole thing, but
We can do a little bit. Waylon, 8 hours before. Love the jumpy back and forth.
nice.
I love a time jump. I'm a sucker for it. Sticky and gross. I've noticed that you really like to do descriptions where you do like thing and thing. Like it could be verb and verb, something squished and squelched, or something is sticky and gross. Or he was scared and confused. Instead of just having like one really strong word.
I guess that's fair. I guess I don't really trust myself enough to only use one word.
That's why you need to find a really fun one.
Yeah.
Go on thesaurus.com.
I feel like sometimes it's for pacing reason though, not right there. But sometimes it does feel like, I don't know, there was one time in Super Kids where I described Patton as smelling like bubblegum and sweet things or something like that. That was mostly for vibes.
Yeah.
I like the idea of it like making the room humid because he's in like a stuffy closet.
Yeah.
Leaving. That could set the scene too. So what about...
You could just redo the entire sentence.
What about that? Or
if the sweat has already cooled and dried, then it's not going to be humid. You could do Waylon's sweat had turned the closet into a humidifying chamber. Me trying to think of words.
like gooey, I won't lie. Leaving his skin gooey. No.
I mean, yeah, it's funny.
The sweat on the back of Waylon's park neck had cooled and dried. Maybe instead of cooled and dried, maybe it's still warm.
Yeah.
And neck trickled warm. Leaving the closet a cloud. A sticky cloud. What about that?
I'm trying to write a comment and trying to think of good words. I put a little comment. Don't know if that's any good. It's other ideas.
Let me see. Waylon's sweat had collected in the air, turning the closet from cramped to suffocating. Ooh, I like that. That's very punchy.
Yeah, I think you need some punch for your first line for a new character.
Yeah, definitely. I'll probably go with that, but I'll let it sit for a bit.
Yeah. Just like throwing different things into the arena so that your thoughts don't get, train tracked.
Yeah.
If that's even a phrase.
It works. I know what you meant.
Yeah. This bit's cute.
Thank you. I really like Lisa's character, or at least my headcanons for her, because she doesn't have a character in the game, but I imagine her a very specific way, and I think she's super cool.
What kind of way do you imagine her?
Very abrasive, but like in a fun way. Very strong, very confident.
Yeah.
Very like, Waylon Park, you get your ass here right now. And Waylon's like, yes, ma'am. She's the dom, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, she's not gonna take any nonsense. Waylon's there, just kind of going ooh, and she's like, just get your act together, come on.
Yeah, exactly. Lisa's one of those wives who's like, yeah, I have 3 children at home. She's only got the 2 boys.
Yeah. Do you have any pets? No, I've got a husband.
I've got a husband.
Dude should just, like, carry his laptop with him. What an idiot.
Yeah.
Stick it in a bag. I don't think this is wrong phrasing, it's just there's one in my head that I usually use for this sort of phrase that I don't know. And this is where personal preference or habit comes in, and you're like, is that legit criticism? Or is this just you being used to it a certain way?
Yeah.
I don't know, really. The thing we had with Waylon was it's difficult to find a voice for him. Because at least with Miles, you can go, yeah, he's just a bit of a jerk. He's very judgmental and not very empathetic. And will just kind of say whatever. He doesn't care.
Well, I will say I do want him to be empathetic.
I mean, not empathetic towards people when it matters, or when it's difficult for him.
When it's difficult, yeah, that's fair.
Like, he's fine with it being empathetic when it's an easy thing to do. But when it's, you know, a level of difficulty, he's like, yeah, no, screw him.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. But yeah, with Waylon, it's, yeah.
It's all a bit wishy-washy.
Probably
because he's more of a neutral character.
Yeah, and I don't really want him to be neutral. I want him to have more of a personality. So, I'm glad we're at his first chapter and he hasn't been introduced yet because we can work on this a little bit.
Yeah. So what sort of voice do you think he has?
That's the thing. I'm like, I don't know really. I imagine him as very selfless, very kind, very, very empathetic, like probably overly empathetic. Past that, it's like, it's all surface level stuff that I know about Waylon. Like with Miles, I kind of instantly created like a whole backstory for him, but like with Waylon, it's like, yeah, he's got his wife, he's got his kids, you know, he's sweet, but like
he's a nice
there's
guy.
no depth.
Yeah. Like, what's his kind of external attitude? Is he very easy just to get kind of knocked around? What does he think about that internally? Does he justify it in any way, or does he just kind of brush over it, like, whatever?
I would definitely say he's definitely a pushover, very quiet. He's probably justifying it in the way where it's like, oh, I don't want to start a conflict where there doesn't need to be one.
Yeah.
Like, the way I see him sending that email was extremely out of character for him.
Yeah. Probably because he reached a bit of a limit. You could have it so that he's got adrenaline running through his system from just the act of sending this email.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's buzzing, and like he doesn't know how to come down from the energy like at all. It's like the entire time is just wild in his head. It was like, you know.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I'm just gonna put adrenaline in big capital letters. If I can
Adrenaline.
Adrenaline. Because I think it'll be one of those fun details.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just gonna... This is bugging me. It's just a slightly different phrasing. Don't know if it's any better. It's just different. This all the way from reception just kind of conveys a sense that there has been a bit of a search for him, and that
Yeah.
they've kind of sent people from all over just looking for this one guy.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
You need to fix that number.
Yes, I do.
You need to think of some fun numbers.
Yeah, if I look back at the footage from the game, it'll be there.
Cool.
Here's more scene setting that could have some more vibes.
Yes.
Definitely more like sterile industrial type feeling, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think you can also lean into the fact that it's a salt mine, and that makes it lifeless, because, you know, not much stuff lives in salty places. That's why it's called the Dead Sea, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just going to stick that somewhere arbitrary. Why do they always put it in salt mines? That's what they did in Portal as well. Aperture Science is down a salt mine.
Really?
That's just where you keep the science.
That's where you keep the science.
Yeah. Preserve the science in its salty, salty embrace.
Too close. What do you feel about there being less detail here? Because I feel like it could take you out of the moment, but also, like I said, Waylon's trying not to look at it.
You could do something like first
Maybe
of all,
he gets
that line "coward," is that like part of his voice? Is he like aware and berating himself for being such a pushover?
Yeah.
And that's the personality that you want to keep.
What do you think about it?
I think it's interesting. It's just something you need to kind of
commit
up, because commit to it, because it's, you know, it's an interesting thing and it'll help give him some depth. You know, maybe he can get, like, maybe if Miles is annoyed at him being like a coward, he can go, yeah, I know, but I can't help it. He's kind of losing his temper a bit about it. And he's like, I'm aware of my problems. You don't need to kind of keep on reminding me.
Okay, yeah. Maybe he gets, like, so that I can add some kind of horrific detail in, but, like, also keep the whole thing of Waylon not wanting to look too close. He could get, like, a glimpse, and then I do, like, quick flashes, like, sentence fragments, and then he, like, quickly looks away.
I'm currently writing a comment of, like, suggested lines, and it's like, although Waylon tried not to look, he knew that the kind of... He knew that the engine was pulsing with something gruesome, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he sees it when he closes his eyes. I think a good spooky or gruesome or gross, one of those words, not both words.
I know that in the pods, he's going to get a closer look when Eddie Gluskin gets put in the pod, which I forgot to add the description for, so I need to do that during this round of edits. But I know that they have, like, wires sticking in them, like, just all over the place, and their skin gets all mutilated, and, like a really bad eczema flare-up as someone who has eczema. Yeah, and, like, at least with Gluskin, his eyes got all fucked up.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of ways that you could almost personify the engine with these pods being...
like a...
Yeah.
Like a parasite. Like, it's, like, it's latched onto them, and it's sucking the life out of them.
What colour are they? The pods?
The wires?
The pods.
Oh, the pods? Well, the bubble is clear. I don't remember what the bottom is. It's either black or, like, a cool gray-blue.
Okay, so there's no like lighting or color or anything in them.
I don't think so. There might be. I don't know.
Okay.
You can add in whatever you feel like, and I'll fact check it later if you have a cool idea. And also, if you have a cool idea and it's not like that in the game, this is a fan fiction.
Yes.
I hate to break it to you, but we can do whatever we want. I can't wait to see how you cut this together. I have no idea what to expect.
Yeah. I had a better kind of image in my head, but like I don't know how to put it into words, so we're just gonna go with that.
Okay, let me check it out. Although Waylon tried not to look, he knew that the engine was surrounded by weakly glowing pods, its roots draining the life out of them. I like that.
Yeah, just kind of personifying it as something living and kind of unnatural and disgusting in how unnatural it is.
I think when I put it in there, I'll try to word it a bit harsher.
Yeah.
But I do like the base. It's definitely a good start.
Yeah, 100%. That's not very strong. It's something.
Yeah. I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned here that it would imply that Waylon isn't white, which I don't think he is. I'm pretty sure Waylon is Asian. Would that be reason to keep this, or do you think I should still cut it out?
Well, the thing is, because pretty much all of the scientists that I remember seeing were white, so it feels weird to point it out for one specific character unless you're using it as justification for a certain opinion on him or something.
Okay.
Like, it's a weird one.
Yeah.
Like, because if you just mean like pale, then just say pale.
Right.
If you mean like spooky sheet white, then say spooky sheet white. But there are certain implications.
Yeah, you're right.
And again, I'm not particularly qualified because I don't exactly live in a diverse area.
Right.
But it just feels like one of those descriptions where there's a reason for pointing out that kind of thing. When it's applicable to pretty much everyone else in the room.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, you use your own judgment on that, I guess.
Okay.
Could you have Waylon mentally responding to this, like referring to him? Because like he's much of a pushover to actually like speak up or whatever, and he doesn't want to like initiate anything. But like he's got to have some opinions on what's happening because it's quite chaotic, and he's already hyped on adrenaline.
That's true. If we're adding in that adrenaline, then he's definitely gonna be kind of all over the place in his head.
Yeah, because just typing is boring. It's like, yeah, he doesn't care what's going on, but like, it's quite an emotion-heavy situation.
Yeah.
Again, having him respond to this because he's just sabotaged the company. Like, yeah, that's considerable.
Oh, yeah.
I know this is a dumb thing, but making it a bit more visceral and kind of more emotional.
Yeah, definitely. I like that.
And it also has a slight implication, if you want to read it a certain way, that the facility itself is panicking. Instead of just the people inside it.
I'm thinking, if it's not too long, we can go until he gets caught.
Yeah,
There's a
I think
time
so.
skip down there where he gets kicked in the face.
God, I love that for him.
Yeah, poor guy.
Who was this guy again? The variant.
Yeah, Eddie Gluskin. He is the groom. He's the one who tries to give you sex change later in the game.
And is he the sign? Because in your poems, there was one of the guys was writing a letter to another guy about science.
He's not any of
Jeremy
those.
Blair.
Right, Blair. Blair is the one who's, writing a letter to Traeger. God, I love that one.
Traeger.
That one is so good. The Better the Nation, or no,
Yeah.
that one is Better the Nation is the acceptance letter from Murkoff. Goodbye, Dr. Traeger is the one.
Yeah.
Let me read your comment here, because I have a question about it. So I described Gluskin's skin as smooth because it's supposed to contradict later in the description I forgot to add in, so I'll do that during my video, where when he gets put in the pod, it fucks up his skin, makes it all rough and red and bleedy and raw. So you said, good to add description like this, better to be even more judicious with it. Smooth doesn't get the most meaning across in this context, but it can have one or two main implications. That this variant skin is unnaturally smooth, pointing details out implies significance, in which case you can add an extra descriptor to convey this clearly, e.g. unnaturally ceramic skin, too smooth, or that the variant is as of yet unharmed physically, in which case a word like unmarked can do some heavier lifting, emphasizing the lack of something. Okay, so you did already.
Unblemished is a good one. Unblemished.
Unblemished. I like that. Unblemished. Let me reply with that. Yeah, okay. I was going to ask what you thought about it in the context that later it's going to be juxtaposed, but you already commented on that. So nice.
Yeah, often when you're trying to emphasize something that's not yet happened, you need to kind of use an unword. A word with un. To imply that at some point it will be that thing.
A little bit of foreshadowing.
Yep. Lots of fun. Yeah, how would a variant give him away?
I think it's just anxiety. There's no way Gluskin can give him away by doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, unless, like, the very, very, very far off possibility that Gluskin is like, help me. And then Andrew or whatever is like, Waylon might actually help him. Let me keep an eye on this guy. That's not going to happen, though. So I think I just need to add on to the anxiety factor, which I think once I loop in that adrenaline, that'll help.
Yeah. Yeah, and then in this section where I'm like, the guy seems to be reacting to nothing, it's because the action and the reaction are like 2 paragraphs away from each other.
Okay, I think I can, once I add in the adrenaline, I can also have Waylon react more here, like more physically.
Yeah.
And once I up his reaction, which will make sense in that context, then it'll make this guy make more sense. Because in the game, I'm pretty sure... Oh, fuck. In the game, I'm pretty sure he, like, stumbles back and everything. He, like, jumps out of his chair.
Yeah, I think he does, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, I accidentally closed the document.
I'm sure he's still calm and eager to finish his work. Yes, I'm sure he is.
I'm sure, yeah. Okay, I'm back. Okay, Waylon grit his teeth and typed faster. 5 seconds. 4, 3. The camera appeared on screen, showing the variant labeled Eddie Gluskin capped inside, with tubes down his nose, his throat, stuck into his veins. He whined and moaned in agony, his eyes squeezed shut, his tears mixing with the fluid he was floating in. Waylon's heart sunk. His hands were clammy. He wanted to cry or scream. He had a hand in that. It was his fault Gluskin was trapped, was in pain. It was his fault. What do we think about that?
You've done your something and something with your, whined and moaned.
Maybe instead of whined and moaned in agony, it can just be he whined, his eyes squeezed shut.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. He whined, his eyes squeezed shut, his tears mixing with the fluid he was floating in. I do like that line about the tears.
Yeah, that's nice. Mm. I think sometimes when you're giving information for the sake of giving information, because you do like to name a character, and sure, it's a significant character, but like, why is Waylon making note of it? You know? So adding a bit of a bit of a.
Okay.
It could be that, or it could be Waylon going, "I'll remember his name even if he doesn't," or Waylon
Ooh, I like that a lot.
Whelan believed that they all kind of deserve to maintain that sense of identity despite everything.
Yeah. Let me add that as well. To maintain. Which is kind of funny considering Waylon's attitude later in the game where he's literally laughing at Gluskin's guts being ripped from his body.
Yeah.
That's funny in hindsight.
I just remembered a line that I was thinking of putting in the pod bit. Words are failing me today. No, it's okay because I'm not the one writing this. Haha.
Just throw me under the bus. I see. I'm kidding.
Oh dear. I'm not sure that this is a necessary sentence.
Let me see where you're at.
His hands were clammy. It's like we can slightly get his emotional state.
I may be a little bit farther down than you because I've noticed I've been doing that, but
yeah.
Because I've been skimming and you've been reading,
Yeah.
but I like the part where he's like, Waylon whipped around to what? Spread out of the building and hide, idiot. And then it just keeps going.
Oh, poor man. He's having such a great day.
Yeah, really.
Waylon's very intelligent.
He is, I promise.
Oh dear. His spiraling's very fun, and it's a good one. Good spiraling.
Thank you. I think I should tone down the cursing with Waylon.
Is he not a sweary person?
Yeah, he's a little bit of a baby.
Heck.
He's a little bit of a baby man. Took me a second to process. Heck. Yeah, here's the number. 8208.
Yay.
That's a nice number. I like it. I like the 8s.
Got some nice repetition.
8 is my favorite number.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a reason why it's your favorite number?
I think it's the perfect even number because the first even number is 2, and then it's 4, and then it's 6, and then it's 8. So it's even 4 times, which is a good amount of evens. Almost there. We're almost there.
Yay! Just need to get him more beat up.
Yeah. Are you looking at the crash crunch?
Yeah. I don't really. I'm not bothered by onomatopoeia. It's okay. Explode is also fine. Don't know what the punctuation situation is here. I don't know if I'm picking up on a problem that's not there, but just kind of be aware that could be a thing.
I can promise that is correct. I know that one at least. This part, I like this part a lot because, please, thank you. I specifically asked this Outlast Discord I'm in, like, what's something stupid that Blair's breath would smell like. And I was like, I feel like I'm going with like whiskey and something else. And someone was like aged brandy and Cuban cigars. So I was like, that's perfect.
I don't know enough about cigars to even know. He's having a great time.
Sure is. He really do be berating himself a lot.
He really do. I think the rest of it's
Waylon, love yourself.
Yeah. He's having a great time. And he's really helping himself out with coping.
Yeah, really. Alright.
Yay.
What all is done in this chapter? Let me skim it real fast. Because they meet in chapter whatever 3, I think. So I think he meets Miles at the end of this chapter, so he has to get to the prison block. Oh, this one is not nearly as long as the first one. Okay, I mean, we're still not finishing it right now, but
yeah.
that won't be a problem
to
for
ourselves,
next time.
But still.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so the next chapter is when the horror gets dialed up a little bit more.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you for your help. I will, once I get a minute to record on the computer, I'll record myself going through your critiques and making the edits and rewriting some stuff. I think the majority of that video is probably going to be rewriting the basement scene sequence.
Yeah, that's going to be a whole thing.
Yeah. At first I was like, yeah, it's probably going to be a short video. And then we were like, we're going to rewrite this whole thing, okay? I was like, okay, this is going to be a normal sized video.
More work, damn it. Cool. So let's finish recording now and say thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Hope it was useful.
See you guys in my video.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.